playing the first game of the playoffs. Very interesting week. This week is going to be very interesting. We've got our Rocket League team that made it into the playoffs. We got our League of Legends team that made it into the playoffs, and on top of that, we have both Gold and Green Valorant team making it into playoffs. So we got a lot of games up ahead. So hopefully you guys stay tuned. But more importantly, we have a Rocket League game to go into immediately. So this is Kago and
Bryce.
we're going to get this started. All right. So a little bit about the Rocket League team so far. We have been doing extremely well. I think we had a one loss so far,
I believe we lost like week 1 and then haven't lost since.
Yeah, so we've lost only once in the qualifiers, but we've learned from it and we've grown, and since then we have been performing quite well and we've been doing extremely well in our games. So hopefully we bring that into our first game of the playoffs here. Anyways, speaking more about the game here, that was nearly making it into Jimmy's Rocket League team here, which is going to be our competitor today. And we will have a League of Legends game later on as well. But I digress. We're already starting off with the idea that Point Park University's Rocket League team, we've constantly mentioned it, and we're going to mention it here as well. We really need to focus on having better control over the ball and communicating to one another is a big part of that. So, especially now, we're nearly making it in, hitting the rim. Almost the first point of game 1 going to Jimmy's. Really it's a little nerve-wracking. And hey, look at that. I think the
I think the graphic might be
I think the graphics are switched at the moment. So that's actually unfortunate. Point Park nearly making the first shot into the goal there. Unfortunately, Jimmy's did get the first goal of the game. Don't mind the graphic. We'll fix that very shortly. But yes, truly.
That's not what Point Park wants to see this early.
Yeah, but from what I've understood, I think the nerves are really getting to them right now. They're, from what I've been told, they've been playing really aggressively, and here it is, the change of the switch, which is really good. We're now starting up right and better.
Yeah, but it's kind of weird to me that we have so many nerves because we've been here before. This isn't like our first playoffs. I'm a little worried. This isn't normal for our team.
That is true, but then again, remember, we have a team of basically almost a whole team of graduating seniors here in our Rocket League team, which means that this is their last game. This is their last playoffs that they will ever have. They want to make a scene before they leave, and I don't blame them. It's an opportunity that I want to be a part of and witness. So it's very important, especially in this game, that they start off right, you know? And hopefully they pick it up, they understand what's going on, and maybe change up a little bit of their strategy here. Because it does seem like we're getting onto Jimmy's field. However, the second we get on there, when we make our shot, we miss, and then we lose the control immediately, and then we have to play defense. Which, obviously, normally that is kind of how it goes. But there are alternatives to be able to keep that flow going in your favor. Because if you make that shot and you miss, you can play, of course, the rebound. You fight for the rebound. And right now we're seeing kind of a lack of that, I guess, job in Point Park right now, which is a little bit worrying, especially since normally Point Park, as of our recent games, has been playing really well in the rebound, making sure we have control of that ball almost the entire time. But right now, we're starting off already with Jimmy's getting the first point, maybe being able to push it over onto their side. 2 seconds left on the clock, and all we need to do is just take it in to the goal, and unfortunately, Jimmy's won the first game of our playoff game.
Yeah, and that just seemed like it was just they weren't getting their shots in.
I agree. This time it seemed like it just didn't make the shots, which means that possibly, like I said, the nerves are really going strong. Are really quaking them right now. They really need to focus up. They need to realize that although that this is the playoff, this is the last time they'll be ever playing, which again, I understand. It's also important to realize that you've got a game. It's time to, I guess the best phrase, lock in.
Yeah.
You know.
And you also have to remember, if they lose here, it's over. So
Mm-hmm.
there's no reason not to just lock in and hope for the best. Because at the end of the day, your season's gonna end eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But you ideally want to end that season with the championship, not going one and done.
Mm-hmm. And as we go into the second game, I want to see a little bit of a change from Point Park University, making more of those shots, because we were making a lot of attempts there, but just kept missing, which is a little bit unfortunate, especially since that if we're getting the chance to be able to all the way, oh my god, nearly hitting into the goal, straight over, just hitting the rim, and then we were able to get that ball some space from our goal, but that was still nerve-wracking. Again, this outcome is nerve-wracking. This is not meant to be the way that Point Park plays. Up in the air it goes, and we're already again losing that control. It's on our side of the field, and we need to make control. We need to take it from them, especially since look at the boost. We're not looking great. We're like fighting for it, and we got to pull our way back. So, especially right now, we got to control it. Defense, maybe, but again, maybe more of a attack-sided defense where that defense is taken up and onto the ball instead of trying to protect the goal in full. But it is really hard to do that if your enemy team, oh, it's in the air. Oh, very close. But, as I was saying, it's really important. Ooh, making that shot, almost making it in, but unfortunately, Angster, I'm going to say, knocked it out, but Safe was able to save it. Made it in at the very end there, making the first point of the second game. Point Park, which is good. We're starting this second game off right. Maybe this might spark a momentum that the Point Park team needs, you know?
And that's exactly what we were talking about. That happened.
Ooh, and look at that carry, nearly taking it all the way to the goal there. But again, Angster just being the wall that they have to bypass.
Yeah, and that score was really just exactly what we've been saying. They were able to rebound after a missed shot, and they got it in. That's what we need to see from. That is
actually very true. Oh no, nearly making it in. Thankfully, Caleb being there to block it. And then we got Starry taking control, trying to at least. And then we got it's a little bit more. Okay, I'm starting to. Ooh. An empty goal, very close, very scary, but look at that. That's actually not good at all. Did you see how all of Point Park's team went to save that ball?
Yeah, it's like they're not communicating very well.
The nerves there. Maybe a lack of confidence in each other there as well, but like that's not a good thing to see, especially since in this game you have to have control over your space. You have to control at least a good portion of the field, and if all three of you are snuck up in the corner of the goal trying to block the ball from getting in, then you've got no control of the field. So, nice, but on a different note, Caleb just tail whipping that ball straight into the goal there. Let's see that exactly. Of course, Starry passing it over, and then Caleb taking it in. There's his face, and look at that smile on him. Good to see. Maybe that might be the change. We're starting to see a better outcome for Point Park. Maybe the nerves are finally shaken off.
Yeah, and this game is already going very different than the last one, and that's exactly what Point Park needs. They need to adapt.
And an open goal, unfortunately, pushing that momentum, I imagine, back a little bit. Starry nearly being able to block it, but just a little bit too off. Look at that. There it goes. I think that might just be an unfortunate moment there we were all in the fields excited there. That was a really good play just a moment ago. So unfortunately that way. Ooh, and a nice attempt from Safe there, trying to take over the ball. They're really pushing it onto their side. I like to see this aggression, but we need to make sure that aggression is met with control and defense over our own goal, as we saw from the last goal that Jimmy's made. We lost because of that over-aggression and lack of protection over our own goal.
Yep, and that's the big thing about this
Ooh,
game.
look at that dribble from
Keep
Angster.
yourself composed. If you can't stay composed, it's not going to end well.
Ooh, and did you see that? Oh, just it stalled right in front of the goal there, and Starry skillfully came up to it from the end that would be preferable for Jimmy's and just slapped it right away. That was a really skillful there. And we're going back up in the air here. It's on their side. We still are on the leading end here, which is good for Point Park. However, it's not as high as I am hoped for. Ooh, and did you see that juke that Angster made, almost making it into the goal? Almost going around Caleb there, essentially. Thankfully, we are going to fight back for it. Oh, no. I'm going to move that around here. Up in the air. 30 seconds remaining. We are in the lead here. Looking good for us at the moment, but we need to make sure we hold it down. Ooh, and that's two demos from the Point Park team onto the Jimmy's, which is good for us now that we have. But I don't think that we ended up really taking advantage of it, because it ended up staying in our corner for a little while. 3 seconds on the clock. All we need to do is keep it up, and it's a shot. Oh my gosh! Creed making the saving shot, taking us into the overtime of the second game. Look at that replay. Exactly how that played out. Oh no. That's unfortunate. Point Park, please don't let that get over it. Don't let that get to you. That is a very painful moment to see. We are going to need to make sure that we don't let that stop us, because we're immediately already losing control over that ball, and it's knocked almost nearly in there, but Caleb's saving it. Oh, okay.
The game just gets a lot more tense as soon as overtime hits.
You're not wrong, and it's a very close match right now. But at the same time, I want to say, in all honesty, Andorf knocks it around.
It looks like it was just an open goal.
I wouldn't say necessarily open goal. I think more what we saw there was Ander skillfully dodging through all three of Point Park's team, taking the second game to the Jimmy's. That's not good for Point Park. That is a painful thing to see. We were looking great in that second game, being essentially, it was our point. It was going to be our point, and unfortunately, Creand just found the slot to get it in there. Hello, we're back into the caster camera while they're trying to figure all of that out, and hopefully in this next game that we have here, we're going to take probably a little bit of a breather here, especially with how that second game turned out. They are on match point, but we need to see some changes here. Maybe hope for a reverse sweep, don't you think?
Yeah, and I think there's a couple issues. They can't seem to get control of the ball, and then once momentum starts shifting the other way, they just completely lose it.
You're exactly right. And I think it's also it doesn't feel like Point Park is playing to their top form right now. It seems like they're making mistakes that they solved ages ago. That this is not the team that we're used to seeing, which is a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, they're usually one of the better defensive teams, but this game has been one-sided.
Mm-hmm. And before we get into the next game, thank you, Red Bull, for sponsoring us. It's a very hot room right now, but thankfully we got some Red Bull to keep us cool. And also RPC Video and Extron for sponsoring us and providing us with the technologies that we use to give you the streams that you watch today. But now we're back into the game, nearly making it into the goal. Jimmy's is such an aggressive team, and it is scary. And oh my goodness, again, Creed, the way that, oh no, this enemy team, the way that they're just finessing through all of our defenses, it's painful and it's scary. Point Park needs to do something about it. This is a very this is bad. And I'm really nervous that, as I was speaking with Tommy earlier, the moment that they start losing their footing and they start falling behind is when they start forgetting the most important part of team play, communication. And so now that we're seeing more of a Point Park hope play out, let's say, it's more based off of what Point Park has to figure out next. Because right now, we're not looking great, but we can't think about the negatives right now. We need to think positively. We need to be thinking about that potential reverse sweep and maybe be able to pull ourselves back together. And that maybe should not be a maybe, because I have faith that Point Park University will be able to make it in. Saving it safe, there you go, and almost making into the goal, but again, and Xander just blocking that. And it's pain to see every time Jimmy is just making those great saves, and Point Park keep just struggling to really take that. Now, again, after that unfortunate call, that unfortunate shot, it's again back on our side of the field, which is just unfortunate. It's up there, just playing around the edge of our goal. Safe knocking it over, finally being able to take a little bit control of it. Caleb taking it over, and it's onto their side, but of course nobody there being able to take it. Oh, and Xander. Please. We have enough time to really pull this back. It's a very close game. Nobody really making a ton of points here, meaning that it's just a matter of figuring out what we need to do. Jimmy's right now just at 1 point above, so all it takes is 2 to be able to pull ourselves back up and ahead. It's up in the air now. It's just a matter of what comes next. Creed. Ugh. It's in a constant motion of stop, and why are we all stuck in the corner? This is not what we need to do to play this way. We're all stuck here, and we have no room to really pass on to one another, and it's straight into the goal with Safe just standing there, unfortunately not being able to block it, and that means Jimmy's is at an advantage of 2. Point Park, pull it together, it's okay. It's time that we lock in. We have this. Come on, Point Park.
Yeah, this is not what they need right now. They are not taking control of the ball very much.
Mm-hmm. I agree entirely.
Yeah, once again, we're back on their side of the field, and they just can't seem to get control.
Come on. Let's see it. Point Park. And whoa. That ball stalled for the longest time, and it could have been taken. We need to see that, please. We got control over it. I'm not entirely sure exactly. Oh, and it's a near shot. Caleb missing it just by a hair. Almost making it into the goal. It's back over, and we lost control over it again. Thankfully, Caleb taking it back. It's up in the air, and we see it shot over. Oh, and it's again on an open side. It's bouncing over. And it's oh my gosh.
Safe in the right place.
It's just
at the right time.
exactly. It's so scary. Every moment right now is right now with our minutes to spare. Oh my gosh. With our minute to spare, Point Park's every move counts right now. We need to make a play. We need to get it in, and the shot taken, and unfortunately just hitting, not even that, unfortunately, not really hitting into the goal there. We're taking it back. Come on. Passing it over to Starry there. What is going to play? But unfortunately getting intercepted. And Caleb really stealing that back. But controlling it, it's just not going in our favor. It's in the air. 30 seconds on the clock. Come on. There's still enough time for us to be able to at least get those two. Come on. Up in the air. We keep it moving. That's a shot. Come on, someone save it. Xander just taking it back. And it's moving back and forth. 10 seconds on the clock, and there's still 2 points that we need to make. It's going to have to be a miracle if we want this to end that way. And it's unfortunately in the last second, Jimmy's taking the 3rd point. And with that, Point Park University's first game in the playoffs is a 3-0 with 1 second to spare. I don't think there's a change in that. Let's see how long they'll be able to keep it up in the air, and it's immediately the Creeds just sending it through, really putting the cherry on top and finishing this game out with 4-0. Point Park University's Rocket League team, unfortunately, lost it here.
So 3-0 just wasn't enough. They had to add another one just on the way out.
That is truly a very painful game to watch. That something felt off about the Point Park team. And unfortunately, it ends this way. And truly, I'm heartbroken. That's a very painful game to the way that it ended here.
Yeah, and that's the end of most of their careers. That's not the way I think they wanted to end it.
Of course, I completely understand what the emotions that are going to be out there right now. But with that being said, thank you for the games that we had this season. Rocket League played tremendously during the qualifiers, and we did wonderfully during our Swiss matches. So, and I'm very, very heartbroken that it ended this way. But with that being said, thank you so much, Rocket League team, for playing tonight. And thank you, Jamestown, for giving us a very, very tough fight. But we're going to be taking a break, and we'll be back with you for the League of Legends game against, I believe, Dean? How do you say it? New Haven? New Haven. Ah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking New Dean, but New Haven is what I meant to say. Ah, sorry. We're actually going to probably restart the stream, start it over, start from a new stream. So just keep in tune, wait for your notifications, and thank you so much for watching. This is Kin Keiko.
Price.
And that was F Voice Crack. See ya.